All right, everyone, we're back with Mac Jones. Same as always, if you have a question, use the raise hand function and we'll open it up. We'll start off with Stephen Smith.
Hey, Mac, I know he's on defense, but he came in the same freshman class as you did. What has Christopher Allen meant to this team in terms of his leadership and his play, especially being healthy now?
Yeah, Chris is a guy who came in with our class, like you said, and I love Chris, man. Everyone loves Chris. He has a great personality. He's hilarious. He brings a lot of energy. He's a big, strong guy. And something I noticed like halfway through the season or something, like he's way up there in production points for doing his job on defense. So Chris is a guy that people don't even really talk about as much as they probably should, and he's a great leader on our team because he just lines up and does what he's supposed to do. And he has fun and celebrates with his teammates like every good player on our team does.
John Zener with the next question.
Hey, Mac, I had two questions. One, I asked Devontae to make a case for why you deserve the Heisman. Why in your mind would Devontae deserve it, be worthy of it?
Yeah, everyone that's up for all the awards and things like that, it's just a blessing to be a part of that. And obviously, Smitty, he's the most electric player in college football. He means the most to us here at Alabama football. You can watch the games and see that, what type of person he is, how he plays. I've been really excited to just be able to give him the ball this year. He came back this year to try and win a national championship and improve his draft stuff, and I feel like he's done exactly that because he just got open and made explosive plays, and it's just a blessing to play behind him and with him, and obviously our offensive line, just to start that all off, I'd say Smitty would say the same thing, is they don't get enough credit for allowing all of us to have success.
And the second, is it cooler or more nerve-wracking when you're in competition with a teammate for an award, such a big award like that? Is it cooler or more stressful?
I don't know. That's kind of a weird question. We don't really even think about awards. Like, you can't sit there and be like, oh, we want this, we want that. Me and Smitty's main goals, we literally talked about it before, is just to come in and be leaders and win a national championship. So that stuff always takes care of itself. And the production is there from, there's a handful of guys on our team that should be in conversation for a lot of different awards, and all that stuff is great, but we got to keep our eye on the main prize, and I'm sure Smitty would say the same thing.
We're going to go over to Cecil for the next question.
Mac, hey, this is Cecil Hurt. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Great. This is a little bit not quite to Notre Dame yet, but how are you going to celebrate Christmas, and how cautious are you guys over this little mini break that you've got?
Yeah, we're really thankful that Coach Saban's kind of allowing us to go home. I think obviously that's a little bit of a risk, but at the same time, he trusts us with, listening to what he has to say and what, our trainers and doctors have told us. We've been very well educated about the virus, and we understand, the main ways that we can get it. So we just have to be really safe, and our families understand that too. And it's just a big shout out to all the families that have done a good job this year and tried to protect their bubble, and coming to the games. And I just use my family as a great example of just wearing their masks all the time and coming to the games and still supporting us, but they're really watching what they do. So that's a big part of it.
All right, thank you, Cecil. Over to Michael Casagrande.
Hey, Mac, two quick ones. Just first, what was your view of the hit that Mechie landed after that interception on Saturday?
Yeah, that was awesome. I threw the ball. I got my feet all whacked up, so I was late. And then, everyone wants to blame it on Miller and stuff like that, but that's not true. If you watch the tape, I threw it behind him. So Trey Dean, the safety, picked it off. And then it just goes to show, Mechie, I don't know if he was angry or what, but I just love how he came in there and made a play, and he created a turnover off a turnover. It's kind of like a weird sequence of events, and we ended up scoring. But it just goes to show that Mechie, he's an effort guy, and even when he doesn't get the ball, he's going to try and, make plays like that, and people don't even realize the small things. And we've done that several times this year. There's Najee, on an interception where he ran back and tackled a guy, or even like Jace McClellan when he went back in Arkansas and tackled a guy. So, with effort plays like that, it just shows what type of players we have on our team.
And second, is what all the questions you guys are getting about Heisman stuff? Is there a more creative way anyone's asked you, or is there a frustration to hearing the questions all the time about Heisman?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's just, like I said, any player in the country that's up for any awards, it's just a blessing. And I think every player would say the same thing, that they're all trying to, we're trying to fight for a national championship, and that's really what matters, and all the other stuff will take care of itself. I feel like like I said, we have great players on our team, have put themselves in a great position for all the awards and stuff, but you really can't focus on that.
Chris Heidel with the next question.
Hey, Matt, thanks for taking my my question. How do you like zone out all the talk during the week saying you're the Heisman Trophy front runner? How do you get yourself focused on just on the game?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to what we've talked about throughout the year. I mean, there's a lot of distractions with COVID and the season and disruptions, and Coach Saban has talked about that all year long. So just listening to him and focusing what you're supposed to focus on, all that really matters is that you try and do your job each play. Some plays you won't be able to do your job as well as you would want. Sorry, and then you just go back and learn from those errors that you made. But it all comes back to just focusing on what you can control.
Anthony Totri, go ahead.
Hey, Mac, is there anything that you've seen in film or watching any of these games of Notre Dame that kind of separates their defense?
Yeah, I mean, we've started on Notre Dame a little bit, but, in watching them, I know they have a really old defense. I think there's 9 seniors on the starting defense. Obviously, they have great players from top to bottom, a great defensive coordinator. They play really sound football. They rush to the ball, and they're really good on third down. That's the other thing that's really impressed me. On third down, they kind of change things up a little bit and give you some more exotic looks. And I think they're like 5th in the country on third down. And obviously, they're top defense in the country. And those guys play with class, and they play really hard. And I'm really looking forward to going against them, and I hope it will be a really good game.
Charlie Potter, you're up.
Yeah, Mac, I know you just were asked about Chris Allen, but how much does Will Anderson progress over the course of the season, and what kind of terror is he in practice?
Yeah, I like calling him the Terminator because he's always by the ball, just destroying whoever has the ball. So he's done a great job all year. I saw it early on. He can pass rush really well. He can run stop really well. So he just does his job. And for a freshman to do that and come in and just work his tail off, it's a lot of respect to a guy like that. I mean, he's a quiet guy that just puts his head down and goes to work, and he brings a lot of energy. When he makes plays, you can see him celebrating, and obviously the defensive guys love him, the offensive guys love him, so he's definitely a great addition to our team this year, and I'm just looking forward to watching him get even better as time goes on.
Edwin Stanton with the next question.
Hey, Mac, can you just tell me a little bit about what it was like seeing Landon go down in the SEC championship game, and how difficult was that watching, a really close teammate after the season? And how's that, affect y'all going forward?
Yeah, I mean, that hurt really bad, honestly. Like, Landon is one of my best friends. And, if Landon's going to stay on the ground, then something's wrong because, he tried to get up, honestly, but I think our trainers were like, just stay down, stay down. So it just goes to show, like, that guy will put his, like whole life on the line for Alabama football. And, if he could, he'd play as soon as he can for us because he just wants to be back. But, obviously the injuries are the injuries. It sucked to see that, but you saw what, just in that little moment there with our whole team kind of going out and just saying, we're with you, man, prayers up. It's definitely devastating to lose him, but at the same time, he brought a whole nother energy to our offense, and we just kind of have to carry that on. And I'm sure, right, when Landon comes back, he's going to be leading just the same way he was. And obviously it's a big loss, but we just have to pick up for Landon and try and bring back, a national championship for him.
Jeff
I can
Spiegel.
also ask you one more thing. What's it like being a team captain? Just tell me about that honor.
Yeah, it's definitely a great honor to be up there with those guys, some of the greatest Alabama football players. Just being a freshman and looking up to some of the guys that received that honor early on, you sit there and you just dream of being in that position. And obviously, I think all of us kind of set goals to be in that spot. But at the same time, it just goes back to our team and just how great of a team we have. To be voted up there by your teammates is a big deal. But, everyone bought in all year long to what the leaders on our team were saying, even with COVID and all that stuff and all the leadership meetings we had. So I'm just really blessed to be named, part of that.
We have time for just a few more. Jeff Spiegel, go ahead.
Mac, we've heard several coaches take on this, but as a player, how did you feel when you saw Ohio State in the top 4, having only played 6 games, and does that give them an unfair advantage in the playoff, do you think?
No, I mean, I can't really answer that for you. I mean, Ohio State is a great team. They're undefeated, and they played well all year long, so I don't make those choices. And I think the teams that are in the playoff are great teams, and we're just looking forward to seeing, 2 great games, and hopefully just us moving on and focusing on Notre Dame.
Tony Sakalas, over to you.
Mac, at the beginning of the season, you said that, this team has the chance to be the best team ever if they were able to navigate a all SEC schedule. Do you feel like this team is, if it gets its business carried out the next 2 games, can be the best team ever?
Yeah, I mean, we got 1 game to focus on, and we've made, great progress throughout the year. But, I mean, if you look back on it, we're right where we want to be, and we can't overlook the opportunity that we have, and that's playing against a really good football team in Notre Dame, one of the greatest, college football programs of all time. So it's just great, 2 great programs going against each other, and that's all we can really focus on.
And this will be the final question with Mike Rodak.
Yeah, Matt, can you ever remember a tight end like Jalil returning kicks like he's doing now? And just what about him makes him a good kick returner and a good tight end?
Yeah, I love Jalil. He works hard. I mean, at first, he struggled a little bit with not playing and stuff, but he just kept working really hard, and we found roles for him in our offense and special teams. But I think it just goes to show that he's just a great talent, and he's learned from his mistakes and, learned the playbook really well, and I can trust him. Now it's like, boom, he knows where to line up, knows exactly what he's going to do, and he's out there just playing football and having fun. So I'm glad that Jalil is where he is right now, and he's just going to keep getting better and working really hard.
All right. Thank you, Mac.
All right. Thank you, guys.